Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai Shri Govana Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shuddha Gurudev Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Oh shoot. No, I'm not muted. Okay. Nityal Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishara Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Anugaurya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. नाम आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल व्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय श्री निताय गौर श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जाय श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जाय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody. Let's see who's there. Hare Krishna Keshav Prabhu. And who's watching on? Oh, Hari Bol, Raseshwari Mataji, Vidya, Ganga Mataji. Hare Krishna. I wonder what order we should do this in. Should we start with the kirtan and then do the recap? I think that might make more sense, right? Like we do the recap right before we start the reading. Then there's not a gap in between that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Just sharing my screen. And we'll sing a Nitai Kirtan. Let's see, which kirtan should we sing? I'm going to keep on doing them in order. So last time we did Nitai Parakamala. Today we'll do Akrodha Paramananda. Akrodha Paramananda. The noble Nityananda Prabhu, the personification of supreme transcendental bliss, is never angry. Devoid of all false ego, he wanders throughout the town. Going from door to door among the residences of lowly and fallen souls, he freely distributes the Harinam Mahamantra. Keeping a straw in his teeth, he calls out to whomever he sees, "Please purchase me," by calling out Gaura Hari. Speaking in this way, Nityananda Prabhu rolls on the ground, appearing like a golden mountain tumbling in the dust. Lochan Das says, "That sinful person who has not experienced the awakening of attachment for such an avatar simply comes and goes in the endless cycle of birth and death." Okay, I'm just getting my mridanga. 1 second. Okay. How come I can't see all the people who are here? And whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. I don't know how to make it so I can see okay, there, I got it. Hari Bol, Kishore Krishna.
Jai Nitai.
Jai Nitai. Okay. What melody should I sing this in? I'll do the Srila Gaura Govinda Goswami Maharaj melody. That's a nice one. Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bedai Ayabhiman Shunya Nitai Nagare Bedai. I'll do it a little lower. Ayadama Patita Jive Dvare Dvare Giya Adama Patita Jive Dvare Dvare Giya Harinama Mahamantra Dichena Vilaya Harinama Mahamantra Dichena Vilaya Jare dekhe tare kohe Dante trina dhori Jare dekhe tare kohe Dante trina dhori Amare ke niyalo bolo gorahari Ayamare ke niyalo bolo gorahari Ayato boli nityananda Bhume gori jai Eto boli nityananda Bhume gori jai Shonara parvata jeno dhulate lotai Shonara parvata jeno dhulate lotai Aheno yavatare jar ratina jan nido Heno yavatare jar ratina jan nido Lochan bole she papi elo yara gelo Lochan bole she papi elo yara gelo Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Kare Peda Jaya Nitya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. All right, so now we will do a recap of what we read yesterday. Doesn't seem like it updates very quickly here. Anyhow, you can kind of see. Okay, so Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi Khanda. First it begins, Vrindavan Das Thakur begins with 5 verses for his Mangala Charan. Ajanu Lambita Namastrikala Satya Avatirna Sakaronya Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Jayati Jayati Deva Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Chandro. And just in brief, this one is Pranam Mantra to Gaur Nityananda Prabhu. This one is Pranam Mantra to Mahaprabhu along with his servants, his sons, and his consorts. And we heard what the 3 are. Then this is another Pranam Mantra to Gaur Nityananda Prabhu. I think this one was written by Murari Gupta, if I remember correctly. Then this one is Pranam Mantra to Mahaprabhu, and especially Mahaprabhu, who is Bhakti Rasa Bhinartaka. He is dancing, completely intoxicated by the ras of bhakti, bhakti ras. Then there's this Pranam Mantra. This one is glorifying. It's Jayati Jayati, all glories to Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Chandra, to Mahaprabhu's servants, Bhrityas, and to the dancing of his servants, Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam, the dancing of all his dear ones. Then begins by, I offer unlimited obeisances to the feet of the loving confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and then I offer obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya. First to the devotees, then to Mahaprabhu. And why do I do that? In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam it says, worshipping my devotees is better than directly worshipping me. I therefore offered my obeisances first to the devotees, as this is a secret for attaining perfection. And then Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur offers pranam to his guru, Sriman Nityananda Rai. And it's only by Nityananda's mercy that that the glories of Lord Chaitanya can become manifest. So before he starts this Caitanya-bhāgavata, he's praying for the blessings of Nityananda Prabhu. And why? Why do you need the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu? Because Anantadeva is the ultimate glorifier of Kṛṣṇa. Right? Anantadeva, his thousands of mouths are the abode of Krishna's transcendental glories. And also Kṛṣṇa Yashodham means Srimad Bhagavatam. So within his mouth, within his thousands of mouths, are always recitations of Srimad Bhagavatam. He's speaking to the four Kumaras and many other great sages we read in the commentary. So therefore, in the beginning I offer my prayers to Lord Balarāma so that the glories of Lord Chaitanya will manifest from my mouth. Okay, so there is no one more dear to Lord Chaitanya than Nityananda. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya always enjoys pastimes within him. Śrī Krishna Chaitanya is most satisfied with one who chants or hears the characteristics of Lord Nityananda. Lord Shiva and Parvati also become pleased with such a person, and the goddess of transcendental learning, Saraswati, manifests in that person's tongue. Along with Parvati and innumerable maidservants, Lord Shiva engages in the worship of Sankarshan. This is explained in the 5th canto. Now, then for 2 days, like two Caitanya-bhāgavata readings, we read all about Baladev's Ras Lila pastimes, described in Srimad Bhagavatam. The narration of Lord Balarāma's Ras Lila pastimes with the gopis in Vrindavan are most exalted. The Puranas describe how Lord Balarāma performs his Ras Lila in the 2 months of spring, Madhav and Madhu. Now please hear those verses that were spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then there's a beautiful description of Baladev's Ras Lila in the 65th chapter of the 10th canto. Sages condemn the association of women, yet they glorify Lord Balarāma's association with the cowherd girls in the rasa dance. The demigods came and showered flowers on his Ras Lila because they know that there is no difference between Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. The characteristics of Lord Balarāma are confidential to the Vedas, but they are elaborated in the Puranas. What will I describe? Due to foolishness, some people neglect the Puranas and refuse to accept the authenticity of Balarāma's Rasa Lila. The 2 brothers, Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, both performed Rasa Krida pastimes in the company of the gopis at the same place in Vrindavan, and this happened after the killing of Shankarchuda during holy time. This is Gaur Purnima time. This is this is a description of that time. Here's a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Once Lord Govinda and Lord Ram, the performers of wonderful feats, were playing Holi in the forest at night with the young girls of Raj. This is Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 34. Oh, but the killing of Shankarchuda came later on, so maybe, I don't know. Anyways, Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma wore flower garlands and spotless garments, and their limbs were beautifully decorated and anointed. The women sang their glories in a charming way, bound to them by affection. The 2 lords praised the nightfall, signaled by the rising of the moon and the appearance of stars. A lotus-scented breeze and bees intoxicated by the fragrance of jasmine flowers. Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma sang, producing the entire range of musical notes simultaneously. Their singing brought happiness to the ears and minds of all living beings. One who has no love for Lord Balarāma after hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam is rejected by both the Lord and his devotees. One who does not accept Srimad Bhagavatam is no better than a Javan, and Lord Yamaraj punishes him birth after birth. Nowadays, some faithless persons, some eunuchs, napungsak, in the dress of a eunuch, they challenge. In which scripture is Balarāma's Ras Lila described? Some sinful persons do not accept this pastime even if they read about it in the scriptures. They distort the actual meaning of the scriptures into some other meaning. Lord Nityananda is the dearmost object of Śrī Caitanya Chandra. Therefore, anyone who commits an offense at his lotus feet is vanquished. And we were reading in the commentary, I forgot for which verse. Maybe it was this last verse, verse 42. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was he giving a quote from Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita? I can't remember. But he said that it's better to be an atheist than to accept, Nityananda Prabhu and not Mahaprabhu, or to accept Mahaprabhu and not Nityananda Prabhu. Like, better to just be an atheist. That's less offensive than to accept one and not the other. And yes. All right, so that was our reading yesterday. I think today we'll be reading. What are the topics for today? I wrote it in. Anyways.
It's the way Baladev serves Kṛṣṇa.
Oh yes, it goes through 10 different ways Baladev serves Kṛṣṇa, and then we will read about how Śrī Nārada in Brahma's assembly glorifies Anantadeva. There's, I think, 5 verses from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. I'm just checking the comments really quick. Oh, Hare Krishna, Bhakti Yoga Society Philippines. Hare Krishna, and Indira Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Okay, so now we will. Do you have anything to share, Kishore Prabhu, or anybody else? Oh, Haribol Champak Didi and Mahasundari Keshavi Didi.
Yeah, Krishnadas Kaviraj, she said he told his brother that. That's where the verse comes from.
Oh, okay, that's the context. It's okay, cool. Thanks for that. Better to be an atheist than to accept one and not the other. Awesome. All right, so shall I begin the Mangala Charan? I'll do that now. Okay. Where is it? There. Ajnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanai kapitaro kamalaya-taksho Vishwambharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Śrī Caitanya Chaitanya Nityanando dvau bhrataro bhaje. Sajayati vishuddha vikrama kanakabha kamalayate kshana varajano vilambi sharbhujo bahudha bhakti rasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Adya Śrī Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashesha prakare mora danda paraname tabe vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe avatar nama Vishwambhar Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshya Kshiptastakama ditaranga madhye Kripa maitvam sharanam prapana Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Satya Mataji and Yashoda Didi, Champak Didi, Hare Krishna, Haribo. And I'm just checking back on Restream. Okay. Right, and pranams to all 6 of you watching on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so now, oh yeah, the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore mura lok shuno Chaitanya mangal Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshakal Kṛṣṇa lila bhagavate kohe veda vyas Chaitanya lila vyas vrindavana das koilo Chaitanya mangal Jahara shabane nashe sarva amangal Chaitanya nitar jate janiye mahima jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhante rasima bhagavate jata bhakti siddhante rasar likhiyachen iha jani koriya udhar Chaitanya mangala shune jadi pashandi javan sheho maha vaishnava hoy tatakhan Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasa mukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya Vrindavana dasa pare koti namaskar Aiche granta korite ho tari la sansar Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan Tar garbhe janmila Śrī dasa Vrindavan Tar ki arbhuta Chaitanya charita varnan Jahara Shavane Shuddha Koilo Tribhuvan Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 4-5 Shahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amriter Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Okay, so now we come to verse 43. Where is it? I'm just checking the chat here. Okay. Okay. Verse 43 from Adi Khanda chapter 1. Murti bhede apane hoyen Prabhu das she saba lakhana avatare prakash. Lord Balarāma appears in various forms as a servant of the Lord. He manifests these symptoms in his various incarnations. We see every form of Bhagavan that there is, Baladeva will be there serving in some form. Gaudiya Bhashya commentary, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada's commentary, Gaudiya Bhashya. For the benefit of the readers, we are again quoting the verses written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi. I'm not going to read that long list here, but I'll just read the chapters. no, it's just chapter 5, and then verses 45, 8 to 11, 45 to 46, 48, 73, 74, 76, 80, 80, 81, 113, 115 to 117, 120 to 121, 123, 125, 134, 135, 137, and 156. Adi Lila chapter 5. So these verses say, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balarāma is his second body. They are both one and the same identity. They differ only in form. He is the first bodily expansion of Kṛṣṇa, and he assists in Lord Kṛṣṇa's transcendental pastimes. Lord Balarāma is the original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Kṛṣṇa. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Kṛṣṇa, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. What are the 4 other forms? So his original form is Baladev, then there's Mūl Sankarshan in Goloka Vrindavan, then there's Maha Sankarshan in Vaikuntha, and then there's the Purusha avatars, Karnadakshay, Garbhodakshay, and Kshiradakshay Vishnus, and then at the very bottom, the 4th is Ananta Shesh. So in those 4 different forms he serves. Wait, where is I? Okay. He executes the orders of Lord Kṛṣṇa in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesh, he serves Kṛṣṇa in various ways. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Kṛṣṇa. That same Balarāma is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. There is one marginal potency known as the Jiva. Mahasankarshan is the shelter of all so there's one marginal potency, and Mahasankarshan is the shelter of that marginal potency of all the jivas. Sankarshan is the original shelter of the Purusha, from whom this world is created, and in whom it is dissolved. That Sankarshan, who is transcendental pure goodness, is a partial expansion of Nityananda Balarāma. Śrī Balarāma is the counter form of Lord Govinda. Balarāma's own expansion is called Mahasankarshan, and his fragment, the Purusha, is counted as a kala, or a part of a plenary portion. Garbhodakshay and Kshiradakshay are both called Purushas. They are plenary portions of Karnadakshay Vishnu, the first Purusha, who is the abode of all the universes. That Purusha Kshiradakshay Vishnu, is the performer of creation, maintenance, and destruction. He manifests himself in many incarnations, for he is the maintainer of the world. That fragment of the Mahapurush, who appears for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, is called an incarnation. In the ages and millenniums of Manu, he appears as different incarnations to establish the principles of real religion and vanquish the principles of irreligion. He then descends to maintain the material world. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. That Lord Vishnu is but a part of a plenary portion of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda, who is the source of all incarnations. That same Lord Vishnu, in the form of Lord Shesh, holds the planets upon his heads, although he does not know where they are, for he cannot feel their existence upon his heads. That Ananta Shesh is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Kṛṣṇa. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glories of Lord Kṛṣṇa. But although he always sings in that way, he does not find an end to the qualities of the Lord. He serves Lord Kṛṣṇa, assuming all the following forms. These are 10 forms. We're going to go through this verse explaining this also. Umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. We're going to go through another list. That was 9. He is thus called Lord Shesh, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Kṛṣṇa. He takes many forms for the service of Kṛṣṇa, and thus he serves the Lord. That person of whom Lord Ananta is a kala, or a part of a plenary part, that person, the source of Lord Ananta, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda? Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant, just as Lord Balarāma played with Lord Kṛṣṇa in these 3 different modes in Vraj. He considers himself a servant and knows Kṛṣṇa to be his master. Thus he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Kṛṣṇa, and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balarāma. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. In some editions, the word Lakshana appears as Lakshmana, which then means this is demonstrated in his incarnation as Lakshmana. I just want to see the verse. Okay. Sheshaba Lakshana Avatare Prakash. So sometimes it says Sheshaba Lakshmana Avatare Prakash. Interesting. As explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5 verses 149 to 154, Lord Nityananda Swarup formerly appeared as Lakshman and served Lord Ramachandra as his younger brother. The activities of Lord Ram were full of suffering, but Lakshman, of his own accord, tolerated that suffering. As a younger brother, he could not stop Lord Ram from his resolution, so he remained silent, although unhappy in his mind. When Lord Kṛṣṇa appeared, he, Balarāma, became his elder brother to serve him to his heart's content and make him enjoy all sorts of happiness. And he didn't want to be subservient anymore after going through all that he had to go through as Lakshman. Śrī Ram and Śrī Lakshman, who are plenary portions of Lord Kṛṣṇa and Lord Balarāma, entered into them. They entered into them at the time of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma's appearance. Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma present themselves as elder or younger brother. But in the scriptures, they are described as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansion. When it says original Supreme Personality of Godhead, I think that means Swayam Rup, and then his expansion, Swayam Prakash, Balarāma. Okay, so these are the 10 different ways that he serves. Sakha bhai vyajana shayana avahan griha chatra vastra jata bhushana asan. Lord Balarāma serves Kṛṣṇa in 10 different ways. 1. As his friend. 2. As his brother. 3. As his fan. 4. As his bed. 5. As his carrier. 6. As his residence. 7. Umbrella. 8. Garments. 9. Ornaments. And 10. His sitting place. I wonder how he serves him as his fan. His bed, we get that, because like Ananta Shesh, Mahavishnu is lying on Ananta Shesh. Carrier, Garuda? Residence, Vrindavan. Yeah, Baladev first manifests as Vrindavan, as Navadvip, as his umbrella, as his garments, ornaments, and sitting place. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. Please refer to the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata verses quoted in the purport of verse 43. Oh, yes, Satya Mataji.
Hey, Haribol, thank you for this. So I have a question about that verse. Can you scroll back up to look at it? So fan, bed, umbrella, garments, ornaments, sitting place. So when we're worshiping the deity, worshiping Kṛṣṇa, and we offer, a bed for him, that's Balarāma?
I guess so. Yes.
That's his garments and his necklaces and a place to sit. All that's Balarāma.
Yeah, it is.
That's
So we have
pretty
to treat those
awesome.
ornaments very respectfully.
Oh,
It's the
that's
garments and
pretty.
everything.
Well, yeah, and you make the ornaments, I do make the ornaments. I
Yeah,
make the bed, I made it's and then he comes and serves that way. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's
Very special,
awesome.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really nice meditation when you're serving your takoji.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Thanks for pointing that out. That wouldn't have made such an impression if you didn't like mention that. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, also, is it true that all the musical instruments that we are using in our bhajans is
Yes,
also
yes,
Lord Balarāma, and all
definitely.
during our cooking, even all the pots are also.
Yes, everything. That's also ultimately everything used in Krishna's service is all Baladeva Prabhu, because Baladeva Prabhu is the ultimate servant of Krishna from top to bottom. From the top of in Goloka, he's Krishna's first manifestation, non-different from Krishna, only different in color. Right? That's what we read yesterday. And and in any place where Krishna is, he's serving in every single way possible. Even in every single ras, he's serving Krishna. In every single of the five rasas, he's serving Krishna in each one of those rasas. And yeah, that's why it said that Nitai Parakamala, what is it? Nitayar Koruna Habe, or Heno Nitai Vinay Bhai, Radha Krishna Paitenai. You cannot attain the service of Radha and Krishna without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Why is that? Because he has the full authority over service, and so he is the one who can give service. So even if our goal is to become a servant of Radha and Krishna, we want to become a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, still we need the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, because that's his like, yeah, that's his position. He's the okay.
There's a nice song by Vrindavan Das Thakur called Antare Nitai. Can I read the last couple shloks of it?
Sure, sure.
It says, Nitai sustains the yoga pit and becomes a throne for the Lord to sit on. Nitai is also the dress and ornaments. He enjoys pastimes with the Sakis. What more can I say? Nitai is the eyes, mouth, and limbs of everyone. Nitai, 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 Nitai. I see only Nitai dancing. Raising my hands and chanting Nitai, I will go to Raj. I, Vrindavan Das, only request Nitai to kindly never leave me.
Wow, that is beautiful. Could you share that? Maybe you could share that in the WhatsApp group. Are you in the Chaitanya-bhāgavata WhatsApp discussion WhatsApp group?
I'm not,
If you could,
but
oh, okay, I'll have to add you there. Yeah, if you could share that, that would be really nice.
oh,
Perfect.
the previous shloks are even, I think they're really nice though. Want me to
Uh,
read the previous shloks?
okay, read the previous look. Oh, yeah, read the previous one.
The refrain is Nitai is within and without. He is everywhere within this world. He is the lover and he is the sweetheart. Everyone says it. Nitai is my regulative principles, my object of worship, and the light of my eyes. Nitai is in all 10 directions. In fact, he fills all the 3 worlds. Nitai as a Nanga Manjari eternally serves sweet Srimati Radhika. He is non-different from Baladev, whose beautiful face resembles millions of moons and is surrounded by Sakas and Sakis. The sister of Radharani, Ananga Manjari, is very dear to Shri Shyam, and she is the life and soul of all the Sakis. She decorates the arena of the temple named Mani Mandir.
What? That's Vrindavan Das Thakur? That's interesting because I've never heard of Vrindavan Das Thakur mentioning Ananga Manjari before.
Yep,
Huh.
this is Vrindavan Das Thakur.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, please share that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna continue on. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. And like I hear even we hear that also Radha and Krishna's own bodies are actually Baladeva because he's a Sandini Shakti, right? He's the existence potency, and so yeah. I mean, you can't separate the Sandini, Sambit, and Ladini, but that's the Sandini Shakti is all forms, all everything is. Okay, text 45. Apane shakala rupe sevena apane jare anugraha koren paise jane. In all these forms, he serves himself. Whoever receives his mercy can understand this truth. Gaudiya Bhashya. Swayam Rup Śrī Kṛṣṇa has personally appeared as Swayam Prakash Śrī Baladev in order to relish spiritual happiness. Please refer to the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata verses quoted in the purport of verse 43, which we just read. Okay, now this is from Stotra Ratna, verse 37. What is it? What's the meter for this? Nivasa Shayasana Padukang Shuko Padhana Varshat Tapavarnadibhi Sharira Bedais Tavasheshatam Gatair Yatochitam Shesha Itirite Janai. O my Lord, when will I satisfy you and Lakshmi, who are both seated on the bed of Ananta? Although he is your transcendental personal expansion, he has accepted your service in the form of your residence, bed, sitting place, slippers, garments, pillow, and umbrella. Therefore, he is appropriately known by the people as Shesh. Gaudiya Bhashya. Oh, sorry, were you saying something, Satya Mataji?
So it says he's appropriately called Shesh. And so what does Shesh mean? I just think that.
Yeah, because Shesh usually means the ultimate end. Like it means the last thing. So like I always thought of like Ananta Shesh, like he's the very end of of all creation, of all existence. He's like at the very bottom, at the very last final thing. But we read another explanation of Shesh. Let me just find it. I remember reading in a previous purport. No, there's so many. There's 90 mentions of Shesh. So let me just see. In the form of Shesh. Devotee incarnation, Shesh. Yeah, I'm just looking through this. Can't find. There's this. Shesh serves has two forms. Okay. So let's see. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he writes, he who is the second expansion of the Chaturvyuha and Goloka is known as Sankarshan. He merges with Shesh, who supports all universes, and then appears as Lord Balarāma at Lila Avatar. Shesh has two forms, one who supports all universes, and one who serves as the bed for the Vishnu incarnations. The former Shesh is the empowered incarnation of Sankarshan, and therefore he is also known as Sankarshan. That doesn't totally explain what Shesh means, but that's interesting. Shesh has two forms, one who supports all the universes, and one who serves as a bed for the Vishnu incarnations. Yeah, I don't really know a good answer for that. Okay, text 46. Let's go back to where we were. 146. Okay. Okay, Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.3.25, Devaki prays to the Supreme Lord in the following words. Bhavan eka shishyate sheshya samgyaha. At that time, you alone remain, and you are known as Ananta Sheshnag. In his Laghu Toshini commentary on this verse, Jiva Goswami has stated, you alone remain and are therefore called Ashesh, the complete. Eka can refer to the spiritual realm as well, which is non-different from the Lord and does not meet destruction. Ashesh means complete. Ashesh, meaning complete, can also refer to the Vaikuntha planets. The word sangya, or definition, refers to the true nature of an object, indicated by its particular form. According to the Sri Vaishnavas, Shesh means he who remains after Shishyate, he who remains after the dissolution. This is also an acceptable definition. The word can also be taken as shesh, he who remains, instead of ashesh. This can include the Lord's associates as well, but it does not include the material world or the jivas therein who disappeared during the Mahapralaya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.8, the Supreme Lord speaks the following words to Yogamaya. Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Sankarshan or Shesh. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. In his Laghu Toshini commentary on this verse, Jiva Goswami says, Shesh means that which remains, or part. Akhya means known. He is known as Shesh because of being an expansion of me. Sankarshan is my own form and the shelter of the spiritual abode. Sankarshan is my own form. See, this Krishna's own form is Sankarshan, and the shelter of the spiritual abode, my transcendental forms and various energies. When the angry Lord Baladeva was pulling the city of Hastinapur into the Yamuna with his plow, the Kauravas prayed to him in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.68.46 as follows. O unlimited one of 1,000 heads, as your pastime, you carry this earthly globe upon one of your heads. At the time of annihilation, you withdraw the entire universe within your body, and, remaining all alone, lie down to rest. In his commentary on this Bhagavatam verse, Sanatana Goswami writes, I am Shesh, the upholder of the earth, and though different from the Supreme Lord, why am I glorified as being non-different from him? In answer to this, the next line says, even at the time of annihilation, Shesh does not fail to perform his duty of protection because he withdraws the universe within himself. He remains there, parita shishyamanaha. He remains there as the only evidence of the Lord, and therefore is called Shesh, the remainder. In his commentary on the descriptions of the characteristics of Rudra in the 19th chapter of the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Srila Baladev Vijabhushan writes, the Shesh who holds a buffalo horn and a bow, who is the bed of Lord Vishnu, and who is replete with the all-accommodating potency, is the Supreme Lord. The Shesh who supports the earth is among the living entities who are empowered by the Supreme Lord. In the description of Balarāma from Laghu Bhagavatamrita, verse 87, it is stated, the Sankarshan from the second Chaturvyuha in Vaikuntha merges with the Shesh who supports the earth and appears as Lord Balarāma. The two forms of Shesh are he who supports the earth and he who is the bed of Lord Vishnu. The Shesh who holds the earth is known as Sankarshan because he is an empowered incarnation of Sankarshan. The Shesh who is the bed of Lord Narayan considers himself the friend and servant of Narayan. The Shesh who is the bed of Lord Narayan considers himself the friend and the servant of Narayan. Okay. Deep, mysterious stuff here. Don't fully understand it, but it's nice to kind of, anyways, know that it exists. Okay, text 47. I'm just quickly checking on the comments here. Oh, Hare Krishna, Govinda, Saha, and Sudevi Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, and Chandra. Oh yeah, and Chandra Prabhu is saying Shesh, Sheshatva, service. Yes, because we hear that Sheshatva means service. This Sundar Gopal has done tons of research on this. We see it in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Kirtans. He uses the word Sheshatva as dasya, as servitude, and the Sri Vaishnavas, that's what they all accept. This word Sheshatva means service. So Shesh, service. I don't know, that's a really interesting point. Yeah, I mean, there's no mention in this commentary, but I'd be interested to hear more about that. Okay. Text 47. Anantera angsha Shri Garuda Mahabali Lilaya Balaye Krishne Hoya Kutuhali. The most powerful Shri Garuda, the expansion of Anantadeva, enjoys his pastimes as Krishna's carrier. Okay, so Garuda is also, I guess, a manifestation of Baladev Prabhu in some way. Gaudiya Bhashya. The powerful Srila Garudadev, who is the expansion of Anantadeva, is simultaneously Lord Vishnu's servant, friend, sitting place, flag, and carrier. As stated by Sri Yamunacharya in Stottaratna, verse 38. Dasa sakha vahanang asanam dajo yastevatanam vyajanam trayi maya upastitam tena puro garut mata tvar angri samarda kinankashobhina. Sorry, I butchered that verse. O Lord, when will I satisfy you, who are present before me with Garuda, your servant, your friend, carrier, sitting place, flag, canopy, chamar, and the personified Rig, Sama, and Yajur Vedas? He is decorated with symptoms of having massaged your lotus feet. Wow, Garuda is a lot more special than I realized. Okay, other editions have bulaye or vahaye in the place of balaye. Balaye means surrounding, or prosperity and service. Bulaye means traveling, and vahaye means carrying. Text 48. Ki Brahma, ki Shiva, ki Sanakadi Kumar, Vyasa, Shuka, Naradadi, Bhakta Namajar. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar, Vyasadev, Shukadev Goswami, and Narad are all pure devotees, eternal servants of the Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. Please refer to the purport of verse 21. Text 49. Okay, sorry. Sabara Pujita Shri Ananta Mahashai Sahasravadana Prabhu Bhakti Rasamai. Lord Shri Ananta is worshipped by all the uncontaminated devotees mentioned above. He has thousands of hoods and is the reservoir of all devotional service. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.5, Shri Shukadev Goswami says to Maharaj Parikshit, a plenary portion of Kṛṣṇa entered her womb as her seventh child, arousing her pleasure and lamentation. That plenary portion is celebrated by great sages as Ananta, who belongs to Kṛṣṇa's second quadruple expansion. Lord Brahma speaks to the demigods in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1.24 as follows. So, first chapter of the 10th canto. The foremost manifestation of Kṛṣṇa is Sankarshan, who is known as Ananta. He is the origin of all incarnations within this material world. Previous to the appearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa, this original Sankarshan will appear as Baladev, just to please the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa in his transcendental pastimes. So we see any avatar of the Lord, they're all coming from Sankarshan, right? Yeah. Okay. In the Krishna Sandarbha 86, Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Vasudev refers to the son of Vasudev. His first part, or kala, is Sankarshan, or Ananta. As Sankarshan, he is the original form. Swarat means he exists independently. Yes, Swarat means independent. The name Ananta indicates that he is not restricted by space and time. That Shesh has thousands of mouths. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.65.28, Yamuna offers the following prayer to Lord Balarāma. Rama Rama Mahabaho na jane tava vikramam yasyaika kankshena vidrita jagati jagatapate. Rama, Rama, O mighty armed one, I know nothing of your prowess. With a single portion of yourself, you hold up the earth, O Lord of the universe. The word ekankshena, with a single portion, is explained in the commentary as referring to the Lord's expansion as shesh. Therefore, the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.2.8 says, "My partial plenary expansion is known as Sankarshan, or shesh." In the commentary on this verse, it is stated, "He who remains after dissolution is called shesh." This statement indicates that shesh is a permanent form, or anksha, of the Lord, or he who finds the glories of the Lord as endless. That's a nice meaning of the word shesh. He who finds the glories of the Lord as endless, because shesh means, end, right? So, endless. Okay. Okay, text 50. Adideva, I'm just curious, what verse are we reading up to? Let me just check really quick. I have it here. Okay, verse 57. Okay, so 7 more verses. And just... Prajumna Rule says, we differ vastly from the Sri Vaishnavas in some things, but not in other things. Other things were very similar to the Sri Vaishnavas. Okay. Text 50. Adideva Mahayogi Ishvara Vaishnav Mahimara Anta Iha Na Janaye Sab. Lord Ananta is the first incarnation of the Lord and the master of all mystic power. At the same time, he is a servant of God, a Vaishnav. Since there is no end to his glories, no one can understand him fully. So, Ananta is Ishvar and Vaishnav. And he's also Adidev and Mahayogi. Mahimar Anta Iha Na Janaye Sab. Okay, Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Adidev is found in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 2.7.41. This word Adidev in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, as Lord Brahma describes the Leela avatars of Lord Kṛṣṇa to Nārada Muni in the following words. Even Adidev, the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Shesh, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 1,000 faces. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 5.25.6, Sri Shukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj, Lord Sankarshan is the ocean of unlimited spiritual qualities, and thus he is known as Anantadeva. He is Adidev, the original Lord, non-different from the first Lord, non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the welfare of all living entities within this material world, he resides in his abode, restraining his anger and intolerance. Okay? Restraining his anger and intolerance. Huh. Very interesting. I don't totally understand that, but okay. Lord Sankarshan is Adidev, or Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. In this regard, one should refer to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 6.16.31 and 10.15.6. So that was the first word in this verse. Now the second word, Mahayogi. The word Mahayogi has 2 meanings. The first is Yogeshwar, or master of all mystic power. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.78.31, after Baladev killed the show-bottle devotee Romaharshan Sutta, the disciple of Vyas, the sages of Naimisharanya lamented and offered prayers to Baladev as follows. They said, "Of course, even the injunctions of revealed scripture cannot dictate to you, the Lord of all mystic power." Yes, the injunctions of revealed scripture cannot dictate to you. The second meaning of Mahayogi, the first meaning was master of all mystic power. Yogeshwar, that's the first meaning of Mahayogi. Now the second meaning of Mahayogi is Yoga Maya Dish, or the controller of mystic power. One is the master of all mystic power, and the other is the controller of mystic power. Yogeshwar and Yoga Maya Dish. Okay. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.78.34, Lord Balarāma accepts the sages' prayers and replies to them as follows. O sages, just say the word. Just say the word? Okay. O sages, just say the word, and by my mystic power, I shall restore everything you promised him. Okay? And everything that you promised Ramaharshan Sutta, I guess? I don't know. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11:30-26, it is stated, Lord Balaram then sat down on the shore of the ocean, and Yogam Astaya Purusham, and he fixed himself in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay? In his commentary on this verse, Sridhar Swami writes, the words Purusham Yogam indicate Parama Purusha Dhyan, or meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Baladev, Baladev sat down on the shore of the ocean, and Yoga Astaya Purusham, he fixed himself in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now the next word, so wait, first was Adidev, then Mahayogi, now we come to the third one, Ishvar. The word Ishvar is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6.16.47 as King Chitraketu prays to Lord Sankarshan in the following words. My dear Lord, you are the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this cosmic manifestation. But persons who are too materialistic and who always see separateness do not have the eyes with which to see you. They cannot understand your real position, and therefore they conclude that the cosmic manifestation is independent of your opulence. My Lord, you are the supreme pure, and you are full in all six opulences. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.15.35, while describing the killing of Dhenukasura, Sri Shukadeva Goswami glorifies Balarāma by saying, my dear Parikshit, that Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasura, that Balaram killed Dhenukasura is not such a wonderful thing, considering that he is the unlimited personality of Godhead, the controller of the entire universe. Indeed, the entire cosmos rests upon him, just as a woven cloth rests upon its own horizontal and vertical threads. Whoa, that's really cool. I remember that verse. Indeed, the entire cosmos rests upon him, just as woven cloth rests upon its own horizontal and vertical threads. Okay. When the angry Lord Baladev was pulling the city of Hastinapur into the Yamuna with his plow, the Kauravas prayed to him in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.68.45 as follows. You alone caused the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the cosmos, and of you there is no prior cause. Indeed, O Lord, authorities say that the worlds are mere playthings for you as you perform your pastimes. The word, so now the next word, we went through Ishvar, now the next word is Vaishnav. What is it? Adidev, Yogeshwar? No. Anyways, let's see. The word Vaishnava is used in reference to Anantadeva in the following statement of Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.5. Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhama Yam Anantam Prachakshate Garbo Babhuva Devakya Harsha Shoka Vivardhana. A plenary portion of Kṛṣṇa, the Vaishnav Ananta, entered her womb as her seventh child, arousing her pleasure and lamentation. That plenary portion is celebrated by great sages as Ananta. See, Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhamma. Okay. Not everyone can understand that the glories of Anantadeva are unlimited. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.17.17, 5.25.6, verses 6, 9, 12 to 13, and quoted as verses 56 and 57 of this chapter, and 6.16.23, verses 46, anyways, chapter 16 of the 6th canto, verses 23, 46 to 47. Okay. I just want to see that verse again, though. What were the things that... Adidev, Mahayogi, Ishwar, and Vaishnav. Okay, those are the four. And then Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave evidence from Shastra explaining each one of these terms. Adidev, Mahayogi, Ishwar, Vaishnav. Okay. Text 51. Sevana shunila ebe shuno thakuralo atmatantre jeno mate boisena patalo. I have already spoken to you of Anantadev's influential service to the Lord. Now, hear how the self-sufficient Ananta exists in the lower planetary system of Patal. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Thakurala means influence, or important or opulent pastimes. The word Atmatantre means self-supporting. This is explained by Sridhar Swami in his commentary on the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 5.26.13, which is quoted as verse 57 of this chapter. Lord Anantadeva is situated below Rasatal, below the earth, as self-supporting on his own. 52. Okay, so now we come to the next topic in this chapter of Nārada's glorifying Anantadeva in Brahma's assembly. Text 52. Śrī Nārada Gosai Tumburu Kori Sange She Jasha Gayen Brahma Stani Shloka Bandhe. Bearing his stringed instrument, the tamburu, on his shoulders, the great sage Nārada Muni always glorifies Lord Ananta in Brahma's assembly. Nārada Muni has composed many transcendental verses in praise of the Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word tumburu refers to the famous instrument called veena, which is always carried by Śrī Nārada Muni to glorify the qualities of Lord Hari. Please refer to verse 74 of this chapter. Another meaning of tumburu is the celestial singer who is the leader of the Gandharvas. Please refer to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1.13.60. Okay, so tumburu has two meanings, the veena and the demigod, who is the leader of the Gandharvas, the singer. The word Brahmastane refers to Brahma's assembly known as Manasi, wherein the Gandharvas, such as tumburu, play their musical instruments. This is described in the Sri Nilakanta commentary on the Mahabharata, Sabha 11.28, wherein Nārada describes Brahma's assembly to Yudhishthira as follows. So this is, we can imagine Nārada in this assembly right here, making his glorification of Anantadeva. So this is what the assembly is like. A group of 20 Gandharvas and Apsaras come to Brahma's assembly. Apart from them, there are 7 other principal Gandharvas present there, including Hamsa, Haha, Huhu, Vishvavasu, Ruchi, Vrishana, and Tumburu. The word Shloka Bandhe means accumulating or composing verses. Chandrasekhar sent me a picture and it said Shloka Bandhe, not Vandhe, in the Hindi version of Srila Bhakti-Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. So I think this might be Bandhe, unless they made a mistake in their version. Anyways, this verse is a Bengali rendering of part of verse 8 of the 25th chapter of the 5th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which states, Tasyanu bhavan bhagavan swayam bhuvo naradasaha tumburuna sabhayam brahmana sangshlokayam asa. Nārada Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, always glorifies Anantadeva in his father's assembly. There he sings blissful verses of his own composition, accompanied by his stringed instrument, or a celestial singer, known as tumburu. So this either means that he's playing the veena while he's composing these blissful verses, or he's singing along with the celestial singer known as tumburu. Oh God, this is now we're going to go through these 5 verses of Nārada Muni's glorification, but I forgot the meter for this. It's a strange meter. It's not a normal meter. I mean, like it's a rare meter. Yadrupam dhruvamakritam yadekamatman. Anyways, let's try it. Text 53. And this is from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Canto 5, Chapter 25, and verses 9 to 13. Utpatti stiti laya hetavo syakalpa satvadya prakriti guna yada ikshayasan yadrupam dhruvamakritang yade kamatman nanadhat katamuhave datasya vartma. By his glance, the Supreme Person, and this meter is called Praharshini. Guru, 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 lagu, 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 guru, lagu, guru, lagu, guru, guru. I wrote it here, the meter. Okay. So this is Narada's glorification of Anantadeva in Brahma's assembly. He says, by his glance, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enables the modes of material nature to act as the causes of universal creation, maintenance, and destruction. The Supreme Lord is unlimited and beginningless, and although he is one, he has manifested himself in many forms. How can human society understand the ways of the Supreme? And we'll see later on, like right after this section, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur will write a bunch of Bengali verses for each one of these verses here, like a Bengali translation and elaboration of these verses. That's what a big chunk of this chapter is. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. In this and the following 4 verses taken from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 525 verses 9 to 13, Shukadeva Goswami describes to Maharaj Parikshit the glorification of Sankarshan's qualities by Narad Muni, accompanied by his Veena musical instrument, or the Gandharva named Tumburu. I just want to see this Praharshini meter. It's na 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 na. Okay. Okay. Let's try it. Go, go, go. Na 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 na. Go, 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 go. Okay. Let's try it. Murtim na puru kripaya pabharasattvam sangshuddham sarasadidam vibhati tatra ya leelam mrigapatir adadhe navadyam adatung swajana manasyang sudara virya. That wasn't right. Anyways, it's kind of close, but not it. I made a video with this and I did it properly, but I can't remember. It was a long time ago. This manifestation of subtle and gross matter exists within the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of causeless mercy toward his devotees, he exhibits various forms, which are all transcendental. The Supreme Lord is most liberal, and he possesses all mystic power. To conquer the minds of his devotees and give pleasure to their hearts, he appears in different incarnations and manifests many pastimes. Gaudiya Bhashya. In his commentary, known as Krama Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami says, the word Mrigapati refers to Lord Varahadev, who performed the pastime of lifting the earth. From this statement, the glories of Anantadeva are further enhanced. Sridhar Swami explains in his Bhavarta Dipika commentary, those who are approached for some purpose are called Mriga, or wish-fulfilling demigods. Their pati is their master, or he who is the master of the demigods. Text 55. Yannama shrutam anukirtayed akasmad artova jadipatita pralambhanadva hantyangha sapadinrinama sheshamanyam kangsheshar bhagavata ashrayen mumukshuhu. Even if he be distressed or degraded, any person who chants the holy name of the Lord, having heard it from a bona fide spiritual master, is immediately purified. Even if he chants the Lord's name jokingly or by chance, He and anyone who hears him are freed from all sins. Therefore, how can anyone seeking disentanglement from the material clutches avoid chanting the name of Lord Shesh? Of whom else should one take shelter? Text 56. Murdhanyarpitam anuvatsahasramurdhno bhugolam sagirisarit samudrasatvam anantyad animita vikramasya bhumna koviryanyadiganayet sahasrajivaha. Because the Lord is unlimited, no one can estimate his power. This entire universe, filled with its many great mountains, rivers, oceans, trees, and living entities, is resting just like an atom on one of his many thousands of hoods. Is there anyone, even with thousands of tongues, who can describe his glories? Wow, this entire universe is resting just like an atom. That's a lot smaller than a sesame seed, which we usually hear the Gaudiya Bhashya. In his Krama Sandarbha commentary on the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu says that because the form of the Supreme Lord is immeasurable, the universe naturally appears small in comparison with him. Okay, now this is the last verse for our reading for today. Evam prabhavo bhagavan ananto duranta viryoru gunanubhava mule rasaya stita atmatantro yo lilayakshmang stitaye bibharti. There is no end to the great and glorious qualities of that powerful Lord Anantadeva. Indeed, his prowess is unlimited. Though self-sufficient, he himself is the support of everything. He resides beneath the lower planetary systems and easily sustains the entire universe. Gaudiya Bhashya. According to Sridhar Swami, the word Atma Tantra in this verse means self-sufficient. All right, so that's our reading for today. We're going to be going over these verses again because a huge section is, as I mentioned before, is Vrindavan Das Thakur's explanation of all these verses. So we're going to go a lot more deeper into these verses here. All right, I'll stop sharing my screen now. Tomorrow I'm going to be posting, like usually today on Sunday, I'm supposed to post the weekly Caitanya-bhāgavata reading that I do. That's like a more nicely done video. Like I it takes me a long time to make. Actually, it takes me like a crazy amount of hours. But and so I didn't manage to finish it yesterday. That's why I did the normal Bhagavatam reading. So tomorrow at like half an hour later than we usually start, that's when I make this video go. I premiere it. I make a premiere on YouTube on the Vine of Devotion channel, and on this I recorded chapter 5, which is the story of Mahaprabhu. There's this wandering mendicant Brahmin who goes to Jagannath Mishra's house, and Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi give him all the ingredients to cook, and he cooks, and then when he's making the offering, little baby Nimai goes and starts eating the rice, and then the Brahmin says, "Oh my God, hi," and then Jagannath Mishra wants to beat him, and the Brahmin stops him, and this happens 3 times. And on the 3rd time, it's like midnight, or like it's the middle of the night, and everybody's asleep, and then finally Mahaprabhu reveals who he actually is to the very fortunate Brahmana. So I read that chapter. I read that yesterday, but I wasn't able to finish the video in time, so that will go live tomorrow. But I was thinking, let me know what you think of this idea I just had. I'm thinking of, because usually we start at 7 a.m. India time, and so that means that we have half an hour free before I make this video premiere on Vine of Devotion. So maybe within that half an hour, we could read from this book, Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Just half an hour reading, very quick, because I really want to read it. It's so beautiful. And then after half an hour, we can go to that video and watch it, if anybody wants to watch that video. But yeah, let me know what you think of that idea. Yeah, you like the idea, Satyamataji? Cool. Let's do it then. All right, so I'll end. It's 8:26. We have 4 minutes. I'll do a quick Mahamantra and Jai Dwani, and then that will be our program for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Jai Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jai Nitai Gauranga, Jai Nitai Gauranga, Jai Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jai Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Krishna Balaram, 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 Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai, Shri Ananta Shesh Ki Jai, Shri Baladev Prabhu Ki Jai, Shriman Nityananda Ram Ki Jai, Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai, Gaur Nityananda Ki Jai, Shri Nārada Rishi Ki Jai, and the Assembly of Brahmaji Ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pada Devi, Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Ooh, right on the dot, 8:30. I finished right on time. That's good. I want to try to do that every day. That's my goal.
Oh, hey, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hi.
I just wanted to mention that the name of the
Yes.
song is called Antare Nitai Bahire Nitai by
Okay,
Vrindavan
yeah.
Das Thakur.
Cool. I see it in the chat here. Antare Nitai Bahire Nitai. Cool. Thanks. I'm going to save this and yeah, Yeah, and Kishore, would you like me to add you to the Caitanya-bhāgavata discussion group? WhatsApp group?
You can, but I probably won't join in so much.
Okay. If it gets annoying, you can leave and don't need to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
In the group, there's this one devotee, Natavar Gaur Prabhu. He's been trying to memorize all the verses, like all the Mangala Charan verses, and he's saying it by memory. And I want to try doing that as well. And if anybody else would like to do that, anytime you memorize a verse, if you can memorize the first verse, Ajanu Lambita Pujo Kanakavadakto, you can share it in that group. And any other little things that you want to remember from this chapter, any things that you want to study, maybe we can try a little thing, the 10 ways that Balarāma serves Kṛṣṇa. What is it? As see, I can't even remember right now. So maybe we can try to memorize that. If anybody who wants to, we can, and then try to say it in a group from memory. I don't know, just an idea. All right.
Can I ask a slightly controversial question?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the flat Earth versus round Earth theories that devotees come out with?
Okay, I'm so not deep into that. It's not really
Me
an
neither.
interesting topic for me. But so I'm gonna give my idea, but it could be like, as I said, I'm not serious about this issue, so it's not like I'm not speaking very confidently, authoritatively, or anything like that. But yeah, my understanding, very limited understanding, is that this universe, there's many things going on. There's many different dimensions. We hear in when Mahaprabhu appeared, all the demigods that were there, and there's a lot going on that's not visible to our gross eyes. And it's not, you can't see it through, so as you go higher up in the universe, things get more and more subtle, and as you go lower and lower down, things get more and more gross. So I don't think what we can observe with telescopes, what we observe in outer space and with satellites and everything like that, that is one thing, but then there's something happening on a completely different dimension that isn't that telescopes and that we can't see with our very limited vision here. And so I personally don't think that the Earth is flat. I mean, yeah, anyways, and I've seen some things on the flat Earth theory that they come, and I've never seen anything very convincing. It always seems really yeah, and we do see in scriptures, I've seen in a couple different places, or a few different places, it says bhu gol. It says bhu means the earth and gol means round, so round earth. But yeah, but also I don't get so disturbed when I see difference between science and what it says in the scriptures, because one thing is science is always changing, and old ideas are disproven and stuff like that. But I'm also not against science, and I think a lot of it is very valuable. And actually, I remember somewhere that that using science to prove the words of Shastra, that's also that's a great thing, So science is wonderful, but yeah, sorry, that wasn't a very clear answer, was it? But
No, it was.
yeah. So maybe I might get canceled by devotees over this, but I also am open to the possibility that they went to the moon. I don't think that's impossible. And but of course, if they go to the moon, they don't have the eyes to see the moon. They can't see everything that's happening there, all the creature. You can't just all of a sudden cheat your way to see different realms or anything like that. So if you go there, yeah, you'll just see a big empty nothing, a bunch of rocks and stuff like that, when actually there's probably cities and demigods and all sorts of things going on there, because
I remember
different dimensions and different realms and stuff like that. So
I remember
yeah,
on Nama Ross Pru's podcast, this one devotee, I think his name was Garuda.
yes,
Nam Raspru was asking him, what are your thoughts on the moon landing? And Garuda Prabhu said, do you really care whether we went to the moon or not? I mean, it's not gonna change anything. Doesn't change what we're having for breakfast or dinner. Doesn't change anything in Prabhupada's books.
Yes. Yes, it's true. Yes, very good point. I remember seeing one purport of Srila Prabhupada. I think we read it in our Śrīmad Bhagavatam reading also. He said something like that, like even if they went to the moon, or he said something like that, then what is the what is so great that they brought some rocks? Great, wow, all this money and everything, and they go there and then they get some rocks, and wow, amazing.
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think Prabhupada said it is not advancement to go like millions of miles and then just come back and bring some piles of dirt and rocks.
Yes. 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 There are no shortcuts to elevating ourselves to the heavenly planets and things like that. So, yeah. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. So tomorrow we will read from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj's Golden Volcano of Divine Love for just half an hour, and then we'll hear the 5th chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Right. Jai Shri Radhe.
Jai Shri Radhe. Nitai Gaur Hari.
Everybody else. Champakti Di, Yashoda Di, Hare Krishna.